At the Children's Aid Society of Ottawa, we know that we need to do better for First Nations, Inuit, Métis, children, youth, and families.
We know that First Nations, Inuit, and Métis children and youth are overrepresented in foster care, and we need to examine our practice to reduce this overrepresentation. We know that when children are placed in out-of-home care, they are disconnected from their culture and their communities, and this is unacceptable.
I commit to continuing to consult with the community and to be inclusive of the voice of children, youth, and families in developing plans that impact them. We know that to change the status quo, we must have voices at the table who have historically been left out of the conversation.
I commit to ensuring that we explore customary care arrangements wherever possible so that families and communities are engaged in the planning for their children, that reunification is always an option, and that families receive the support they need to care for their children.
I commit to listening, learning, and growing, both personally and professionally, in my relationship as a settler to Indigenous people, working to right the wrongs and shift the balance of power.
Afin de mieux guider mon travail, je m'engage à approfondir mes connaissances sur les cultures, les traditions, les expériences et les traumatismes que vivent les personnes autochtones.
I commit to do the work to inform my practice within the context of colonization, the residential school system, 60 Scoop, and ongoing systemic racism. It is my job to engage families in a culturally informed way that honors their First Nation, Inuit, and Métis values and traditions.
Je m'engage à développer et implémenter des plans de sécurité culturelle qui incluent la voix des enfants, de leur famille et de la communauté, pour que les services offerts soient culturellement appropriés.
I commit to remembering that the Western way of knowing is not better than the Indigenous way of knowing. I believe that Indigenous communities can keep their children safe, even when a family is struggling. Understanding how the child welfare system has historically traumatized the Indigenous community, if a family does need to be supported by CAS, I commit to working with families through an Indigenous lens so I do not create further trauma.
Je m'engage à écouter et à intégrer mes apprentissages dans ma pratique. Et je m'engage à examiner mes propres préjugés afin qu'il n'ait pas d'impact sur mes décisions.
I am committed to doing things in a different way that is better for First Nation, Inuit, and Métis children, youth, and families. Through Family Network meetings, involvement of Indigenous service partners, Circle Care, and customary care, I commit to giving power back to Indigenous families and communities to make decisions about their children.
The Children's Aid Society of Ottawa needs to be a safe environment for the children, youth, and families it serves, and for First Nation, Inuit, and Métis staff who have made a commitment to work in child welfare. We value their unique contribution to the organization and the knowledge and wisdom they bring to developing our practice, as well as informing internal policies and procedures.
Je m'engage à créer des relations franches et dignes de confiance avec les personnes Inuit, Métis, et de Première Nation.
We recognize that the Children's Aid Society of Ottawa is located on the unceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe Nation. We extend our respect to all First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples for their valuable past and present contributions to this land. We also recognize and respect the cultural diversity that First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people bring to the City of Ottawa. I acknowledge that the legacy of colonization lives on at the Children's Aid Society of Ottawa. I commit to you, change is here.